Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to, Kimberly's marketing firm LLC live interview that we have today. Before we start off, I'm just going to introduce myself, and I have a very special guest that's coming on who has a lot of knowledge for us in regards to real estate, right? As you can see at the bottom, this is a live interview with an amazing real estate agent whose name is Mack Bean, okay? Just so kind of start off, just to introduce myself, I am the CEO of Kimberly's marketing firm. So I specialize in photography, film production, and marketing, right? I do these live interviews once a month to get some resources out there, to get some, businesses out there, which is really cool, right? Because we're all, learning from these things. So if you are in need of any type of services, feel free to contact me. You can message me on social media, or you can look on my page. I do market Black entrepreneurs in the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. Okay. So I'm excited. I know you're all excited. You saw the flyer. Yes, we have Mack Bean with us. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring him on here with us right now. Hey, Mack, how you doing?
Hey, Kim. Happy to be here.
Yes, we are so excited that you're here. I'm gonna just have you introduce yourself to our viewers today.
Okay. All right. Well, appreciate it.
You're
So
welcome.
hello, everyone. My name is Mack Bean. I am a realtor in Maryland. My office is based out of Washington, D.C., and I am originally from Erie, Pennsylvania. And I moved down to this area, pursued real estate, and here I am to share some knowledge and answer any questions that you all may have. So Kim will ask me a few things, and then hopefully everyone will find them just as helpful, if not more helpful. And then we can keep on going and have everyone on their way to home ownership.
Yes, that is awesome. Thank you, Mac. We got a comment. Got your mom. Hi, Mac's mom.
Hey, mom.
It's good to see you. So,
Never want to
yes, like
support her.
Max said, we are excited. And please, if you have any questions, Mac's available to answer any of those questions. He's also tagged on this live. So even if you have questions after, feel free to reach out to him. He is more than happy to help you. Okay.
Definitely. And as I
Um,
saw, Kim can pull up the comments. So if you put any comments in the live, we'll try to address them during this time. But if I don't get to them here, then definitely I'll get to them later. And also, I can share my email information. So if anyone wants to reach out to me via email or via social media, then you definitely have the opportunity to do so. I'm here and I'm available.
yes. Thank you, Mac. I'm so excited. Look, I'm excited. Mac is my friend. We've known each other for a very long time.
Yes. This is like friends having a conversation. So
Right,
anyone come
right,
on
right.
in, join our conversation. It's not going to be as formal as
Yes.
you may have been expecting, but we're going to drop some knowledge and a few gems.
Yes, absolutely. So we're gonna go right in, to this interview, right? So
Okay,
Mac,
I'm ready.
what are the first three things you should do before you plan to be a homeowner? If that's a
Okay.
goal of someone's.
All right. So whether it's a goal or you're looking to gain more information, first step is starting out and getting education. So number one, I would say educate yourself. You want to be knowledgeable on what it means to be a homeowner, what it means for you, what you envision, what you're actually seeking, and then what it takes to go through that process of purchasing your home. So it's likely that purchasing a home is going to be the most expensive single purchase you'll make in your lifetime. So you have to ask yourself, how will I maintain this home? Or you ask, where do I even begin with this home buying search? Well, if you're here, being here is a great start because you're going to get some
Yes.
information and some tools to start off, and you'll be able to expand upon them to get more knowledge. Um, and then also, there's going to be first time home buyer programs in your local area. So, realtors and lenders, they come together and they put on these courses to give people knowledge. So, you can do a Google search, an Instagram search, in your local area, first time home buyer programs. They do them all the time. Some of them are even online, um, some are in person, and they're typically free. Okay.
Okay.
Seek out that knowledge and education to educate yourself. And then next, if you do find that purchasing a home is for you at this time, what you want to do,
Mm,
save for a down payment and your closing costs. Okay.
okay.
So I want to talk a lot about closing costs just because that is something that is oftentimes overlooked and
Yes.
hand in hand with your down payment. All right. So
Mm,
a lot of times people say, oh, you need to put a certain amount down for your down payment. Well, not only do you need to put something down for your down payment, but also you need to put something aside for your closing costs. And I do want
okay.
to say, long gone are the days of putting 20% down on a home, unless you want to. You can definitely do
Okay.
that within, well within your rights, and you'll probably save on PMI, which is a type of insurance that is added to your mortgage if you do not put 20% down. But if you want to pay that 20%, by all means, but you can get into your home with much less. So,
Wow.
what I would say is you want to save about 5 to 7% of the home price. So you'll need about 5 to 7% saved for your home price
Okay.
um, before going to closing. And
Mm,
why do I say that? Well, typically 3 to 3.5% is the amount you'll need for your down payment. You can get a conventional loan or an FHA loan with 3% or 3.5%, as little as that. You know,
okay.
if you want to put the 20% down, that's your business. But
Right.
you can get into your home with 3 to 3.5%. So to be generous, we're going to say 3.5%. And then
Okay.
next, you want to put something aside for your closing costs. So the closing cost, that's typically around 3.5% roughly as well. So that 3.5 plus 3.5 will give you 7%. And I say 5 to 7 because sometimes your closing costs can be covered by the seller of the home that you're purchasing.
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes you don't have to worry about that, but you want to position yourself in a place of power where you can still move forward even if that is not an option to you, if the seller's
Mm,
not able to do that, where the market changes and sometimes, that's not an option, or depending on your situation, it may not be available to you. But there are cases where your closing costs will be covered by that seller. But you want to make sure that you're able to move forward, whether they do or they do not.
oh,
Okay.
nice.
And closing costs, so that's separate from your down payment. The closing
Okay.
costs are the fees associated with your home purchase. So all the
Okay.
fees that are associated, at the closing, that is what you're paying for. Um, a lot of times people don't know about that, but that is also something
Mm,
that you want to account for. Okay. And then also, in addition to that 5 to 7% that you're saving for your down payment and your closing costs, you want to make sure you have money for moving expenses. That's something that
right.
can be overlooked as well.
Overlooked a lot. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you wanna make sure that once you do buy this home and you're closing on your home, you are now able to move your things from your previous residence to your new residence,
Yeah.
however, is feasible for you. If you're moving by yourself and you may be moving to an area where you don't know anyone, you may wanna get movers. And then
Okay.
you have to account for a moving vehicle and then gas and other things. And there's fees associated with moving. You just want to make sure you have something set aside for that. So you want to be generous with your saving, but typically
Yeah.
5 to 7%. Okay, that's
Okay.
what I'll say. So
Okay.
those are two things. You want to educate yourself, save for your down payment, your closing, and then third, keep up with your credit score.
Mm,
So when looking for a lender, they're going to look at your credit worthiness. So what that
okay.
means is they want to see what debt you have and compare it to the amount of income you're bringing in. So how
Okay.
that can look is you want to make sure that you pay down your debts and you have a consistent income, coming in, just flowing. Um, and then how you can stay on top of your credit report. You can request up to 3 credit reports per year from each of the 3 bureaus. So
Yes.
that's totally free. That's something that you can do. You can say, hey, every 4 months, I'm going to request a report. You may not even need to
Right.
do that as
Mm,
frequently, but definitely want to know what is on there in case something is on there that should not be, and then you can dispute it ahead of time and as soon as possible. So
Okay.
those are the three things that I'll say that you should do before you plan to purchase a home.
Yes, Mac. Wow. So much knowledge right there. I love it. I love it. Just the education, like to educate yourself,
Hmm.
Um, a lot of things you were saying, a lot of us probably don't even know what that sounds like or what that means. So I highly encourage you like to go back and watch this live and take notes. Take notes. He said to educate yourself, number one, right, Mac?
Correct.
Save for a down payment and keep up with your credit score, right? And
Exactly. Yes.
and those are like honestly great goals to have because once you start checking off your goals and education is so important. Like if we don't educate ourselves, how am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to do, right? And reach
Exactly.
out to Mac because he can help you too. He could give you some great advice. But that is awesome. That is
Yeah.
that is very great to know because I know a lot of people or like they're just in that stage in their life like you know what, I'm ready to be a homeowner. I'm tired of paying rent, right?
Right.
Or we pay rent for what, 20 years, Mac. By that time we done bought the house and they're making a profit
Exactly.
when that can actually be our home, right?
You can, yeah, but we don't know what we don't know until we know
Right,
something different.
right.
So that's what we're here for. Kim and I, we are resources. Use your resources, reach out to us, and we have those connections with others that can provide that guidance and information. So this is where you
Yes.
can educate yourself. Use your
Yeah.
resources, okay? And know for yourself because you don't want to just go on one person's word alone. You want to know exactly what is going to be involved in this purchase and
No, you're
what
gonna
is
make me
good
drink
for
my
you.
tea to that one because that's some
Sip that tea. Sip
go
that
ahead,
tea.
Mac. Go on.
This is what I love. This is my passion. So,
Seriously.
I,
So
I try not to
true.
ramble on, but
No,
as soon as
please do. Look, this is
you
what
get
we
me
here
stirred
for.
up, and I have to keep going.
Yes, yes. We got a question from one of our viewers, Mac. It kind of ties into our next question. So, Matt W., thanks for joining us. Mac, his question is, do you have to clear everything from your credit?
Okay.
Kind of sounds like he
So,
wants to know, do you have to clear everything from your credit, maybe to get a higher credit score before
okay.
you want to, look into actually taking that step to be a homeowner?
So, depending on the person's situation, there would have to be an assessment of their credit report. So I'm guessing when they say clear everything, Matt's referring to something that may negatively impact their credit report.
Okay.
So what I say with that is you definitely want to seek a professional in that realm. And definitely your lender that you connect with, they can assess and tell you what things that you should pay attention to and address and those things that you should not address. So,
Yes.
you know, I'll say frequently um, there are times where they may say a professional in this area, which I am not a professional in credit, they may say something that has been demurred on your credit for 7 years, do not pay attention to it because
Mm,
it has the least impact. So
right.
that's something that you want to address and have assessed. With a lender, they can tell you what is impacting, what's helping you, and what is not. And sometimes people may feel like closing accounts will raise their credit score when actuality it
Mm,
lowers it. So
wow.
sometimes it's
Yeah.
beneficial to have those older accounts on your credit report because it shows your longer credit history. So it's best to reach out to a lender and have them assess what would be the best option for you to see what is on there, what's negatively impacting and what's positively impacting, and that way they can create a plan for you and how to get you in the best situation as possible. Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Matt, for your question.
Yeah,
We
thank you for having
appreciate
me.
you. Thank you, Matt, for answering that as well. Which kind of ties into our next question. Matt, can you inform our viewers of a good credit score to consider when you're purchasing a home?
Okay. All right. So yeah, once again, this is specific for the person. But typically, I would say a 620 credit score is enough to get you into a home.
Okay.
It's been done before with lower. I've seen it done with a 580 credit score, uh, but that tends to come with hefty fees and most likely a very high interest rate.
Mm,
Okay. So when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, the amount it may take for you to clear your debts that will take you from a 580 to a 620,
right.
it may be less than what you'll be paying in interest
Mm,
over the course of a 30-year mortgage with that lower score.
mm,
So the higher your score may be, the better your term options and the likelihood of you being approved. So it's not to
yes.
say that you can't get into a home with a 580, but your options are a lot better with that 620, and you won't be paying. Remember, most frequently a mortgage is going to be 30 years, 15 years. Some people do it, but
Right.
if you're paying, you know, something with a high interest rate for 30 years, that can impact you more than what it would have taken you to go from that 580 to that 620. It could have been $2,000 that you were paying off of a debt, and
Right.
over the
Right.
course of 30 years, you've paid, $100,000.
Right.
So
Right.
it's something to think about. It's like, do I want to pay $100,000 over 30 years,
Mm,
or do I want to work on paying down this $2,000 up front in the beginning right now?
yes.
And those
Yes.
are just numbers that I threw out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm referring to those fees,
Yeah.
the $2,000 versus the 100,000. But the 620 and the 580, those are real.
Okay.
So you can definitely reach out to a lender, and a realtor like myself. We can put you in connections with lenders in your local area to help you out with that and assess your specific situation.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. I even know for myself, Mac, I took time to like look at my credit score because it wasn't the best at first. And just like you said, taking a look at it, you can actually mail, like you said, TransUnion, Equifax letters, and they'll send you your credit report.
Yes.
And when I took a look at my credit report, I was like, oh, wow, let me take care of this. And there's so
Yes.
many resources out there, like you were saying, where you can even fix your credit yourself or reach out
Right.
to a lender or someone that has like that credit restoration program, whatever works best for you, right?
Exactly.
And just that time, like have that time to actually take the time to do it and to do it right. So
And
thank
that's helpful,
you.
not even just for purchasing a home, but just for life in general, being an adult. You want to know what's
Yes,
on your credit score. Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. And
Absolutely.
sometimes it happens more often than we would like to admit, but there's times when there are accounts attached to your report that do not belong to you. So you
Hmm.
don't want someone else's debts to be impacting you without your knowledge, so you want to make sure
Right.
you address that. It
Yes.
happens. It definitely happens. Sometimes names are
Hmm.
similar. If your name is James Brown, well, there's more than one James Brown,
Right. Right now.
So you
Right.
don't want
Like,
to
wait a
people.
minute.
Yeah, you'll be like, Wait a minute, I didn't buy a house in
Right.
1973. Why is that? Why is that on my credit report?"
Right.
So
Right.
it's just great to know that in general. Keep up with your credit score. These are free resources available to you. You just want to make sure you use them, even if you don't use them 3 times per year or request them 3 times a year, once a year, however frequently you feel is necessary. Definitely do so.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. Even if we got any like 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds is watching right now, because we do not learn these things that Mac is telling us right now in school. They don't teach us this,
Right.
right? So educate yourself because what you're learning right now is teaching myself. I'm learning, you're learning. It's great information, especially when you want to build a legacy for your family, right, Mac? Like you
Exactly.
want to look back and have something, even if you don't have children, or if you have children, like, okay, this is what I want to build, for my family, So we
Yeah.
just never know what each day is going to look like, right?
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
also, like what you said, building a legacy for your family, if you may not have the funds in order to, provide a certain amount of money to your children, what you
Mm-hmm.
can do though is help them build a credit report.
Mm-hmm.
So you can add them as an authorized user to your credit card and begin building their credit score at the age of,
Good,
I
Mac.
want to say, 15 to 16.
Yeah.
So they can be an authorized user. You don't have to give them the credit card, although they're added to it. And however you responsibly, I'll say, handle your credit card, that will increase their credit score. So you can,
That's
that's one
awesome.
way to start them off with one foot forward. When they turn 18, when they want to put something in their own name, they'll be able to, because they'll have a credit score.
Yes.
Sometimes we feel like if we don't have a credit score or credit report, then we have good credit. No, having no credit is the same as having bad credit. So even if we
Mm-hmm.
can't, give them thousands of dollars, we can
Right.
help them with a credit score, even if it's as little as $500, a $500
Yes.
limit on your credit card. Add them as an authorized user, start building their credit score. From 15 to 18, that's 3 years they've been building their credit up. So they're able to get an apartment probably by that time.
Right. Right. Yeah. Look, all I can say is go ahead, Mac. Look, look, I'm over here like, look, I'm telling y'all, I'm taking notes too.
Yes.
We have Carnisha Morris. Thank you so much for joining us today. She has a question, Max. She wants to know, what are your tips on saving to be a first-time homeowner?
Okay, that's a good one. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
Karenisha, um, I would suggest, things that worked for me. I would say whenever I came into uh amounts of money, lump sums of money, I wouldn't spend it because I never accounted for that. I never want to get into the mindset of spending money that I do not have.
Mm-hmm.
So this may sound like, oh, well, something far off. People may say this never happens to me. Well, income tax season. So that money that you receive from income taxes, put that to the side, and then after years, or maybe not even, some people get large amounts of for a return after a certain amount of time. When you have your 5 to 7%, it may come to you sooner than you think. But large amounts of money, lump sums, put those in your savings, and don't worry about it. Also, just starting putting something to the side. I say
Yes.
everyone
Yeah.
should have something that they're saving.
Yes.
10%, put that to the side. Don't put that in account. Don't ever touch it. Don't look at it. Out of
Mm.
sight, out of mind. Learn to live below your means.
Yes,
So
Max.
once you can accomplish that, living below your means, putting something to the side. I know sometimes rainy days come, but putting something to the side, and not being in the spirit of constantly or frequently reaching into that bank account,
Mm.
that will build, over time before you even realized it. Because when it's out of sight,
Yes.
out of mind, you'll look back at it a couple years later and you're like, wow, I didn't even know all this money was here on the side from putting maybe $50 per paycheck to the
Mm.
side, and how much that accumulates over the years.
Right.
So there's
Right.
many out there. Those are just a couple that may
Yeah.
be helpful.
Yeah. That's such a great question. Because it can be like you were saying, putting something to the side. I know. Um, I'm working on it. I got my emergency fund because what if my hot water tank breaks?
Right.
And to the
Exactly.
homeowner, we got to take care of those things, right, Mac?
True.
So, yeah, I love that, and just having that, what word am I looking for? Consistency to say, okay, here's my emergency fund. I'm not going to touch this, right?
Exactly.
It's like having that, like you said, that mindset to just like, okay, I'm not touching that. I'm not looking at that. And then when the emergency comes up, it's there. It's
It
there. Those
is.
are great
Yeah.
tips. Thank you, Mac.
Most
Thank
definitely.
you.
Thanks,
And
Karenisha.
that was a great question. Thank you so much. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I have real estate agent Mack Bean. He lives in Maryland. He's very educated on real estate home ownership. So if you have any more questions, we would love to hear from you. And we just thank you for joining us with us tonight because we are learning a lot, right?
Got me
All right,
excited.
let's go to our next question here. I think you touched base on it a little bit. This is a really good one. I know a lot of people are asking about this. Can you provide our viewers with a couple programs that help them through the process of becoming a homeowner?
Okay. All right. So a couple,
Or three
there's
or four,
many.
whatever you want to look.
There's so many out there. My
Yes.
mind is just turning. But
Mm,
what I'll say is, for educational purposes of purchasing a home, I'll say it again, seek out first time homebuyer classes. They give you the A to Z breakdown of what you need to know in order to be a first time home buyer. There are some that are online, and then there's some that are in person. You can go to multiple. Typically they're free. I
Mhm.
know realtors like myself, they put those on in the communities and things of that nature. You just go and attend. Then for financial reasons, I'll say Google first time home buyer grants and assistance programs in your area.
Okay,
So
nice.
they have them available at the local level, the county level, the state level, and the federal level. And there's probably nonprofit organizations throughout your area that have them available as well. So that's a lot of opportunity right there for you to
Yes,
get free money and assistance, and oftentimes you do not have to pay it back. Um,
yes.
and it's important to have a local and knowledgeable realtor and
Mm,
lender on your side when navigating this process, because I can
yes.
speak about some of the programs that we have here in Maryland and the Washington D.C. area. Like DC has HPAP, Maryland has the Maryland Mortgage Program, um, Prince George's County has the Pathways Program. um, Greenbelt, which is a city in Prince George's County, has a down payment assistance program for the residents of the city that are looking to
Mm,
purchase a home. So
okay.
there's opportunity out there and available. We just have to
Yes.
find it and be knowledgeable about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. That is awesome. I know here in Pittsburgh, PA, I think there's like a program associated with Dollar Bank where it's like a free home ownership class too. Knowledge is power. So
It
much stuff
is.
out there we can just, just reach and, just take advantage of,
Yeah.
And if look, I know a lot of times I do stuff, Mac. And if something doesn't work out, keep going. Keep looking for
Hmm.
that next resource. Keep looking for that next program because it's definitely going to pay off at the end. Yes, James Tyler, keep dropping them gems, Mac. Look, hold on, we got shout outs for Mac. We got my director, your old director, Chris
Ah,
Bender. He's
Chris.
like, yeah,
I see Chris. Thanks,
yeah.
James. Thanks, Chris.
Oh man, this is great. Mac, I want to go back. We did have a question from Angela Plot. I think you answered this question before, but if you can just let her know how we can find out if someone else's debt is on our credit report.
Yes. So when you request your credit report from what is it, Experian, TransUnion, I can't think of the other one. There's three credit bureaus. But when you request the
Equifax.
Equifax, thank you, Kim.
You're
When you
welcome.
request the report, because I'm like drew a blank there, but
You
yeah,
got it. Look, you
there's
got
three. If
it.
you get two out of the three or just one, you're doing pretty good. But there are three that
Yes.
you can request three times per year for free. Look at your credit report. Go through it. If something looks unfamiliar, reach out to one of those bureaus, and they're they provide a lot of customer service and ways to go about reviewing your report and addressing something that may not be accurate, and they give you the opportunity to dispute it. So if something looks unfamiliar to you, by all means investigate that further. But yeah, first step is getting your credit report and then going through it and circling things that don't look accurate and then investigating from there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Angela. We appreciate your question. Um, all right. So we're going to head into the next question. If you have any more questions, go ahead and post them. We're still here for a little bit. So we're thanking Mac for being here with us tonight again. Here's a question, Mac. So, what are the benefits of being a homeowner?
Okay, all right. Once again, there's
Yeah, once
hundreds.
again,
There's hundreds,
a
but
lot.
I'll just name a few. I'll start off just with a couple that come to mind. Um, so during income tax season, we talked about the income taxes previously. Well, during that season, there's tax incentives and deductions
Mm.
from paying your mortgage interest and your property taxes.
Oh, nice.
uh, you can gain equity in your home and you can convert that to cash. So your home is an appreciating asset. So you are increasing your net worth as the value of your home increases. Uh,
Okay.
we talked a lot about credit. So you build credit by having a home and paying your mortgage. Uh, and also, you have something that you can pass on to your loved ones.
Yes.
Once your home is paid off, you only have to worry about the upkeep and then paying taxes on it. Um, so that is a great asset to pass on to your family and have somewhere for them to reside in from generation to
Yes.
generation to generation. And lastly, one thing I'll say is control.
Mm,
So you have control of your home. You can do what you
mm.
want with it.
That's a
If you
fact.
want to tear down the wall, if I want to tear this wall down right here, I
Yes,
could do
Mac.
that. you
I
know,
love that.
if I want to tear the whole house down, I
Mm,
could do that. I
yes.
have the rights to say what I want to do with my home and in my home,
Yes.
and then also house hacking. That's something that
Mm,
you can do. So you can rent out rooms in your home and have income coming in consistently. So you may not even
yes.
have to pay your mortgage by house hacking.
Mm,
And you have all the rights and benefits of owning a home, and you have the means of not paying a mortgage monthly. So imagine the amount of money you'll be saving that way. I couldn't
wow.
do that if I were renting because someone would have to be on the lease and have to go through all these stipulations and they'll say no. But me owning my home, I have that option and available to me in order to say how I want to operate it. So
Yes.
you own something, you can decorate it, remodel it. It's yours. You can feel safe and secure in it. You have that
Yes.
control because that is your home. So
Yes. That's
those are just a
beautiful.
few.
That is so beautiful because we have so many creative ideas. And when I was renting in the past, I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't paint a wall the way I wanted to
Mm,
paint it, like because just like you said, break this wall down, let me open up this bathroom or something like that. Like
exactly.
that's a great, and your home equity goes up, right? I know we ain't touched base on that. Yeah, I know that one's huge, but that's
Definitely.
awesome. There's
So,
so many.
just for anyone who's not familiar, what I mean by equity in your home.
Yes.
So, the amount of the loan that you owe on your home and what your home is worth, that equity is the difference in between. So
Yes.
if your home is worth $150,000, but you only owe $50,000 on it, then you have $100,000 in equity in your home. And with that $100,000 in equity, you can get a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. And you can use that in order to do repairs at your home. You can use that as leverage and convert that to cash and, get money
Yes.
back from that. So having equity, that and that yeah, as your home value increases,
Mhm.
this year it's at 150, 10 years from now, it may be at 200, and then as your equity is growing, your mortgage is decreasing. So you can see that your home equity is
Mhm.
increasing. Okay.
Nice.
So those are the benefits of having a home. It's an appreciating
Yes.
asset. It's not like a car with when the value goes down.
Yes.
No, with the home, it goes up.
Mm. Woo, wait, where's our comment at? What did he say? James Tyler. Keep dropping them jokes. I am serious. I am serious, Mag. This is so great. So much knowledge for us right now that we're learning. Oh man, this is great.
I love it. I love it. This is my
I'm
passion.
loving it. Lord, we might have to do a part two.
Right. Oh my gosh. 'Cause I don't know how long we're supposed to talk, but I got plenty of
Yeah.
information. Let's keep going.
Awesome.
Keep going.
Awesome. Yes, let's keep going. I'm going to ask you my last question, and we do have a few more questions from the viewers. Okay.
Okay.
So, Mac, how is important is it to purchase the land that your home resides on? Is that something that we should look into when we're purchasing a home?
Yes, definitely. So, what Kim is referring to is known as a ground lease,
Mm,
and you pay ground rent to the owner of the land. So, in this situation, a homeowner owns the house they live in, but not the land that the house sits on.
Whew.
So I've
Mm-mm.
seen this commonly in the Baltimore area, in
Mm-hmm.
various regions throughout Maryland also. Uh, but in this ground lease, rent situation, it includes all the rights of home ownership, but you have an additional fee that you have to pay to someone who is the leaseholder,
Mm.
and it gives you no benefit at all.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
gives you no, it serves you no purpose. Besides, they own the land, and you just have to pay them to be on their land. They will
Mm.
not come on your land
Yeah.
unless you don't pay them that fee, but you still have to take care of that land, the house, and everything on it.
Right.
So you have all the rights of home ownership, but you don't own that. You don't own that land, and you're paying someone a fee.
Mm.
So what I always say is they don't make land anymore, so it's difficult to
That's a fact.
destroy. So
Yeah.
own the land too. Own
Yes.
the land too. And your
Yes.
realtor should be aware of this and let you know if it exists on a home that you are interested in. So while
Yes.
you're searching listings on the MLS, the multiple listing service, which is where they house homes,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see it'll say ownership type and it'll say fee simple. Fee simple means you get the ground and the house with this purchase.
Right.
So fee simple is you get the majority of the package. Now, if
Okay.
you see something that says ground rent in the ownership type or anywhere in the listing, that means you'll be paying ground rent to someone who owns
Mm.
that land. Okay.
Wow.
Um, and also you can view this by searching the deed or researching your state website just to see more about the land. But typically it should be in the listing and your realtor should be aware of that when they're showing you home. So that's another reason why it's important to work with a professional, a real estate professional.
Yes. Yes. And that's a great question to put on your list when you're, looking for a home. Like that's good to know. That really
Definitely.
is great to know. Okay, so we're going to go into some questions from our viewers, Mac. We got a few questions here for you.
Okay.
Um, this one is from Shanela Randall. Thank you for joining us, Shanela. Which states would you recommend in buying property for a first-time buyer?
Oh, which states? Whichever state you live in.
Yeah,
Whichever state you live in, that is the
right.
place that you should purchase as a first-time home buyer.
Hmm.
You know the area, you
Yes.
have access to resources, you're familiar with the area, and oftentimes there may be stipulations around certain programs, like you have to be a resident for a year or something. They may have something like that. Not all the time, but just saying in general. Um,
Right.
but start there. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you can travel to the homes and visit them and not have to go too far from your primary residence. If you live in California and you want to buy in I don't know, Maryland, you
Right.
have to get on a flight to get to Maryland. So you don't have
True.
as much opportunity to view homes in person.
Yeah.
So, just start where you are first and do your research and then execute from there.
Yes. Great question, Mrs. Randall. Thank you so much. Carnisha, I gotta feel like you about to be buying a home pretty soon because she got a lot of great questions. She really do. She wants to know: do you suggest a 15 or a 30-year mortgage?
Okay. So what I'll say about a 15 versus a 30-year mortgage, with a 15-year mortgage, you're likely to have a lower interest rate,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll have a higher monthly payment.
Mm-hmm.
With a 30-year mortgage, you'll have a lower monthly payment, but a slightly higher, and I do mean slightly higher interest rate. So, you know, a suggestion may be why not go for the 30-year and pay double the mortgage amount and have it
Mm,
paid off in 15 years.
right.
So that way you're not biting off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
So, it's giving myself that wiggle room. If I know I can afford if my mortgage is $1,000 and I know I can afford 2,000, well, I'm going to pay $2,000 each month
Mm,
which is going to go, I'm going to make sure it goes strictly towards my principal, and I'm going to pay it off in 15 years.
right.
But I'm only expected to pay $1,000, but I'm going to pay 2,000.
Mm,
Now, if a time comes where I need that extra $1,000 for something that month, I don't have to worry about paying $2,000. I could just give that 1,000 and I'll still be fine. So if I pay it
right.
off in 15 years in 1 month, I'm still good. I don't want to force my hand, but leave myself with options to pay it off in 15 years. So if you definitely have the option to do a 15 and you can maintain that, that's your own decision. But you can also still pay off a 30-year mortgage in 15 years. So just
Mm,
ask your lender if there are any penalties with paying it off sooner. Um, and yeah, you can definitely do that and still save on interest by paying it off quicker.
right, right. Awesome. She has one more question, Mac. Uh, what are the top three? Uh, help me, Mac.
Pertinent. Okay, let me see. What are the top three pertinent questions you should ask
Yeah.
a realtor when you first buy a home?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this as these are the questions you're going to ask a realtor when you are looking to use them in order to buy your first home. Okay, I'll answer it from that perspective. So you want to ask them, have they worked with first time home buyers? What is
Mm,
your experience? Um, ask for references or look at their reviews. Because people will give reviews and they'll talk about the person that they've worked with. Um, and you want to work with someone who's knowledgeable about the area that you are in. So you can ask them about their knowledge of the area that you are in or that you are seeking to move in. You can ask them as many questions as you would like.
yes.
You can, because they have to be a fit for you. What's a fit for someone else may not be a fit for you. So how you like to operate. You can,
Yes.
ask them their availability. When you'll be accessible. Are they accessible at those same times? What times do they prefer looking at homes? Because if you work Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they say they can only look at homes on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 12 to 2, that doesn't work for you. Now,
Mm,
that's just being extreme, but
right.
'cause
Right.
in most cases, realtors will make themselves available because they know they have to work with a wide range of people. But I'm just saying those types of things you want to ask. What's pertinent to you? What is
Yes.
necessary for you? So ask them about their previous experiences, when they're available, what information did they have for you. And you want to also research their brokerage too that they're working with, and the
Mm,
brokerage company that they are affiliated with.
yes.
Um,
Yes.
so yeah, because that says a lot too. You want to research the brokerage that can set the standard of what their morale is like, what their culture is like, and a little bit more about them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no limit. No,
Awesome.
no limit. Ask them questions. This is a big
As
purchase.
many as you want, right, Mac?
Many as you want, and they should be
Yes.
willing to answer them. Okay. And you want to make sure that it's
Absolutely.
specific to you and that you are comfortable with how the conversation is going.
I like that, Mac. I like that a lot because you definitely want to be comfortable with your real estate agent, because
Become very close.
yes, yes, because this is like the important factor of my life,
Exactly.
and I know everyone who purchased a home off of you was like, look, Mac was the best. Just even
Yes.
having conversations with you, just having that, um, just that compassion for what you do, like you have, and making people feel comfortable goes such a long way. It really
Exactly. It
does.
does. And you
Yeah.
find that by having conversations. So
Yes.
you
Yes.
got to ask as many as you want until you're comfortable. And you may not be comfortable on the first time. You were like, okay, well, I want to come back and talk to you again in 2 weeks. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
hey, until
Right.
you're comfortable. And then talk to many people. You have
Yes.
that option. You can talk to as many realtors as you want.
Mm,
That's fine.
that's wonderful. Wonderful. Hi, Miss Deneen Morris. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mac, the question for Miss Deneen is, what are your thoughts about purchasing a home in your mid 50s?
Anytime is a great time to buy a home. In your 50s, your
Yes.
60s, anytime is a great time. And
Yes.
what sometimes people don't realize is that the first home that you buy may not be the only home that you buy.
Mm,
So you have people who are purchasing homes at 75.
mm.
They're in a different lifestyle and a different mentality. They want something different.
Yeah.
So that home that they had when they had the 5 children at home no longer suits their needs and their lifestyle as of now. And
Wow.
your lifestyle changes over the course of the years. So who
Mhm.
you were at 25 is different than who you are at 35, different at 45, which is different at 55. So
Yes.
you are in your prime at any point in time. If you want to buy a house, go ahead and buy you a house that suits your
Yes.
needs and how you want to live at this point in your life.
Yes, listening. Awesome. Look, I need to have one of those little clapping things in the background. Yes, Mac. Well, it looks like
Um,
we have about two more questions before we close out. Mrs. Randall states, should you purchase a home under your name or your business? Which is better?
Ah, it depends on the person. It
Okay.
solely depends on the person in your situation. Not everyone has a business.
True.
But if you do have a business, you just would have to speak with your financial advisor or understand how that will be helpful or impactful for you. So that one unfortunately I cannot answer, but you just have to determine that
Yeah.
for yourself and how it will best suit you. And
Yes.
the legalities behind that, that's something to understand because also you want to think, is my business performing at a rate where I have
Mm,
income coming in? Because if it's not
right.
attached to my name, then it's not attached to my income unless I married the two.
Right.
But what funds are available that will allow me the credit worthiness under my business name to purchase this home under that name. So it's definitely situational. Is
Yes.
one better? I can't say. I can't say. It just depends on who you are as a person and what
Mm,
your intentions are with your home. Um, people will put their homes in a trust, like a living trust. And I can see the benefits of putting your home into a trust because it's easily transferable to your heirs. Um, and they don't have to go through probate. They save money having to go through probate.
mm.
So that's beneficial in that way. It just depends. It depends on the situation.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Mac. And our last question for tonight. And if you have any other questions, place them in the comments. Me and Mac will go back through. I'm pretty sure he'll answer those for you. We'll get those answers for you. Miss Deborah, she states, how much of your income should be your monthly mortgage payment? Or how do we go about finding how much we should value? It looks like value the home or your home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Traditionally, it's around that 30% range. That's what you want. 30% of your income to go towards your housing expenses. Now, in the world that we are in, that has increased some. But you definitely want to see what's comfortable with you, budget, and then speak to a lender and a financing professional about that.
Okay.
But rule of thumb typically is around 30%. They say 25 to 35. I'm one that errs more so on the side of caution, so I'll say 30.
Yeah.
But that is solely up to you, what you want to consider because everyone's situation is different. If you're purchasing on your own,
Mm,
you are the one out here on your own, numero uno.
yes.
But if you have a partner that you're purchasing with, then you're like, okay, well, maybe we can stretch this to the 35% range. I'm an advocate for living below your means.
Hmm.
Um, and we just, have our negotiables and nice to haves, or excuse me, non-negotiables, nice to haves, and our needs when looking at homes so that we can account for, okay, if I increase my budget to here, these are very nice things to have, and
Mm,
I'm willing to pay more for them. But if I'm not willing to pay for them, let's go here, and I still have my needs and my
mm,
non-negotiables. So you
hmm.
want to keep it right there. That's if this is 30%, and then the nice to haves is at 35%. you just have to make an understanding for yourself of where you want to go with that. So
Yes.
yeah, definitely, I would say go for that 30%.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Well, Mac, look, I had so much fun tonight.
I enjoyed
And I've
myself
learned
too.
so much for myself. I thank you so much for just being on here tonight. Once again, my name is Kimberly. Um, and this is a live interview with real estate agent Mack Bean, who lives in Maryland. I'm going to let him have some final words before we close out, but I just want to pull up some comments real quick, Mac, before you close this out. But Will Matthews says, thank you. Thank you, Will.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Will.
watching with us.
Appreciate you.
Deneen Morris, thank you. We thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Cornisha, I'm trying, and we know you're gonna get that house. We know you are. We know you. Yes, and let's see here. I think I got another comment here I want to pull up real quick. Let me find it really quick. Yes, from Mom. She said, Grandma and Aunt Nate say hi. They're watching as well. Yes.
Hey, Grandma.
Yes, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah. So we thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm going to let Matt close us out. Once again, please go back and watch this live, share this live, and educate yourself. But Matt, you want to close this out on how the viewers can get in contact with you, your Facebook page, your email address, um, anything of that nature before we close out?
Definitely.
Yes,
Okay. Oh, Kim, I'll read out my email if you want to type it in the comments. That way they
I
can see
sure
it.
will.
Just keep on going from there. So my
Okay.
email is Mack.Bean at kw.com. So that's MACK Bean BEAN at kw.com. So you can definitely reach out to me. Yes, that's perfect. So I am a realtor with Keller Williams Capital Properties in Washington, D.C. We are an international brokerage. So if you do have questions or want assistance from me to be put in contact with a local real estate agent in your area, I can definitely assist you with that. Um, and then just a few things that I want to leave you off with, what are very important items to consider when purchasing your first home. Selecting a great realtor, that is important because they'll help guide you through this process of purchasing your home. And they've purchased and bought and sold multiple homes recently as well, as opposed to someone who may have only purchased a home once, maybe 20
Mm,
years ago. And I say that because I know sometimes people will say, well, I need to ask my dad or, my uncle who purchased one home 30, 40 years ago, when we're no longer in that same environment. But your realtor, you
mhm.
want to have someone who is trustworthy and knowledgeable about the current market trends, and they can advocate for you during your search. So, selecting a realtor is very important.
Yes.
Next, selecting a lender, a mortgage lender. And I say this, not everyone needs a lender. Some people will be paying cash for their home, and that is amazing. But selecting a lender is very important as well. Your realtor can also put you in connections with people who are local and familiar in the area, and they can, have that meeting of the minds in order to have this great realtor and this great lender work together to serve you. Okay. But one thing I will say is you want to shop around, get pre-approved so you know how much home you qualify for. So having a great lender is important because they'll, understand your finances. You don't want to look at homes if they're out of your price range.
Mm,
So I do suggest shopping locally for this lender
mhm,
because they have knowledge about what programs and grants are available in your area. Someone in California may not be able to tell you what your county's first time home buyer programs look like because
mm.
they have no idea that they exist.
Wow.
Okay? It's helpful to have someone who's familiar with the area that you're seeking to purchase in. And then I mentioned it lightly earlier, but just having a list of your needs, non-negotiables, and nice to haves. So
Nice.
you definitely have to have your needs, and then your non-negotiables that you're like, this is what I want, no matter what. The home must have this in order for me to purchase. And then
Mm,
three, nice to haves, something that you can be flexible on and possibly not have and still move forward with a purchase. Because you're going to see a lot of homes and they're going to have a lot of different things, and you're going to want to compare them. So having this list of your needs, non-negotiables, and nice to haves, it'll help you be less stressed when you're comparing these properties, and you can identify a place that's actually suitable for you and your family's needs at this point in time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that's all I want to say in closing out. So thank you so much for inviting me on your platform, Kim. I appreciate it. My first live interview.
Oh, you're welcome
Yes.
back. And look, it's going to go further and further. I'm happy that, you're here as well. All of the knowledge. We're definitely going to have Mac back on Kimberly's marketing firm live interviews in 2024 for sure. So look out for that. I got to post this comment real quick, Mac. Proud dad. Mac.
As you all can see, that's my dad.
Hey, Pops. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you again, Mac. Share this live. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.